Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video where we use yoga to help give our muscles some love after working out at the gym or maybe sitting at a desk for long periods during the day. And today we are going to be focusing on the shoulders and this side of the neck, upper shoulder area. So this is an area that I find, especially if you're lifting weights or doing HIIT workouts, or if you are sitting at a desk for long periods of day, that this area might get really sore. We also tend, many of us, to hold a lot of our stress in our shoulders and neck. And I found that whenever this area can get really tense and almost like it's turned into a rock, it's really hard to alleviate that and to find ways of helping to release some of that. So that is what we are going to be focusing on today, trying to release our necks and our shoulders and finding some relief. So one thing that you might need for today is a towel of some sort. So I have a workout / yoga towel, or you can just grab a hand towel or something like that, whatever you have at home. So go ahead and grab that. Make sure that your mat is rolled out, and we will go ahead and get started. So for our very first thing, we're just going to start off with some shoulder rolls. So what we'll do is go ahead and find a kneeling position like what I'm doing here, where the knees are bent and we're sitting back on the heels. Hands come out to either side next to our hips, and we're just going to start by bringing the shoulders up and towards the front, and then back and down. So we're just coming up, forward and up, and then back and down. We're just warming the shoulders up here, starting to loosen them up. What we're going to do on next round is start to bring the breath into it. So as you bring the shoulders up, we'll inhale, and then as they come down, we'll exhale. So we'll do a few more of those. So inhale and exhale. Inhale, shoulders come up towards the ears, and exhale, bring them back down. A couple more. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, so now we'll just do the opposite way. So we'll bring the shoulders back and up, and then forward and down. So back and up, forward and down. We'll include the breath. So inhale back and up, and then exhale as we come forward and down. So inhale, exhale, inhale, opening the chest up, exhale, closing. A couple more like that. Inhale, and exhale, come back down. Okay, nice job, guys. So the next thing that we will do is just start to stretch out the side and upper part of the neck and shoulder. So what we will do is, I want you to go ahead and pick a side. I'm going to start with my left here. It might look like your right. And bring that hand onto the mat next to you, out a little bit. And then we'll bring the opposite hand and bring it over top of the opposite side of the head. And then what you'll do is you'll have your fingers spread apart and on either side of the ear. So you can have it like this or like this, whatever feels good. And then you'll start to kind of grab at the skull right there. And then you'll start to pull the head down and over towards the arm that you're using to pull. And what we're doing here is we're thinking about bringing the ear closer to the shoulder over here. And at the same time, we're bringing this arm down. The shoulder is coming away from the ear and it's coming down. So we're thinking about that kind of opposite action, pulling away from each other. Make sure you're breathing here. Giving our side of our neck a big stretch. Take one more inhale here. And exhale. inhale. And then on the next exhale, we'll go ahead and release. Bring that arm down. Okay, so then we will do the opposite side. So opposite hand comes down to the mat. So for me, it's the right. Bring the fingers down to the mat. Other hand is going to come up and over, and then we're bringing the fingers to either side of the ear and holding onto the skull. So we'll go ahead and start to pull that head over towards ear comes to shoulder. And at the same time, we're thinking about bringing this side, this ear, and the shoulder away from each other, bringing the shoulder down as far as you can, reaching through the fingertips down towards the mat. Making sure that we have a long line in the back of our neck so we're not pulling the head back and over. We're just pulling over, keeping the back of the neck nice and long while we do that. Do one more round of breath here. One more inhale. On the exhale, we'll release the head and arm down. Okay guys, so you might do a little neck rolls, whatever feels good. That's a very big stretch for those muscles. So what we're gonna do next is, now that we've done the sides of the neck and we've given them a nice stretch, we're gonna make sure that we do the back of the neck as well. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll bring our chin in towards the chest. So we're just gonna tuck the chin down towards the chest. And then we're gonna take our hands, we're actually gonna reach towards the base of the skull. So I'll turn around here. So if you feel around back here, you'll notice that as you come up the neck, you can feel the base of the skull right here where it starts to kind of dip in and then out. That's kind of the area that we're going to be grabbing onto with the fingers. So find that space in the back of the head. Bring the chin into the chest. Grab, use your fingers to grab the base of the skull. And then we're just going to gently pull out. So we're not pushing down, we're not pushing the chin farther into the chest. What we're doing is we're just pulling out like you're coming out of the crown of the head. So we're just gently pulling, giving a nice stretch to the back of our neck, these muscles that run up the side of our vertebrae. Relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears. Go ahead and take one more breath here. On the next inhale, we'll go ahead and release the hands down and bring the head back up to center. All right, guys, so now that we have shoulders warmed up a little bit, we have our neck stretched out, we're gonna move on to the next stretch for our shoulders. And so you're gonna go ahead and grab the towel that you have with you, and we're just gonna unfold it completely. You're gonna lay that down on to your lap, and then we're on the long edge, we're just gonna start rolling. And it doesn't have to be a tight roll, a perfect roll. We just want some kind of noodle-like roll here. Then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and pick a side. So I'm gonna start with my left hand, and I am just gonna grab the towel like so. So I'm actually taking my hand and twisting the wrist a little bit and grabbing it so that my fingers are facing me. And then what we'll do is we'll bring that behind us. So the palm and the thumb are facing our back. And then we'll take the opposite hand, bring it out to our side so the palm is facing the back of us. And we'll bend at the elbow and start to grab for our towel. I'll turn around here so you can see. So once you get there, what you're going to do is you're going to start to use your fingers to climb up and down the towel. So you're crawling the fingers in towards each other, however far feels good for you today. Now if you find that as you're crawling your hands towards each other, that all of a sudden the fingers meet, then you can actually take your towel and lay it down next to you. Come back to the bind here, and then grab the fingers and start to pull even farther using the fingers. So you decide how far you want to go for today. Making sure that we keep our spine nice and long and tall. Probably feeling a big stretch in the front of the shoulder as well as the side of the shoulder on the one that is up overhead. Take one more breath here. Okay, take one more inhale. And on your exhale, we'll go ahead and release the fingers of the towel, and then we will unbind and come back to the center. All right, guys. So we will go ahead and do the opposite side now. So whatever hand you grabbed your towel with the first time, we'll do the opposite hand. So same thing, you'll take your hand and twist the wrist so your fingers are facing you. And then you'll bring the towel behind you. And then you'll take opposite arm, bring it out to the side, palm faces back, bend at the elbow and start to reach for the towel. And then once you get there, you can play with walking your fingers up and down the towel, deciding how far you want to go, what feels good for today. You start to graze the fingers closer and they start to touch, you can take the towel and place it to the side and come back and reach for the fingertips. One thing that you might notice as you do this is that one side feels like you can go a little bit farther, whereas the other side doesn't want you to go quite as far. That is totally normal and totally fine. For me, this is my worst side, and it's not as flexible as the other one. So I have to be careful not to take my fingers and really pull, because I'll actually strain this shoulder a bit too much. So I'm always really careful to not pull too hard on this side. I can pull a lot on the other side. So if you find one side's a little more flexible, can go a little bit farther, totally fine. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't try to get the other side to go as far. Just go as far as each side allows you to and what feels good. So do one more breath here. Go ahead and take an inhale. And then as you exhale, we'll go ahead and release. And then come back to center. All right, guys, you can take your towel and actually put that off to the side. We are now done with it. So for our last stretch of the day, we'll be doing eagle arms. And before we do that, if you find that you are in this kneeling position and your knees and legs are kind of over it, then you can actually just come to a cross-leg seated position. Either is going to be fine for this next one. So you can either stay in the kneeling position or you can come to this if your legs have had enough of that. So what we'll do for eagle arms is we'll bring both of our hands out to the sides, palms facing out. And then we'll start to bring them in towards the center. And what we're going to do is we're going to cross one over the other. So decide which one you want to do first. We'll do both sides, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to have my left underneath my right for now. And go ahead and cross to where your elbows are crossed as well. So you want to come all the way in to where the elbows are crossed. And then we'll bend at the elbows, bringing the palms up. And then we'll keep twisting to where the palms actually touch. Now if this seems too far, like this, like you're doing this and you're like, that's not gonna happen, Kelly, then just bring the outside of the palms together. This is totally fine too. Whatever way feels good for you. And then what we'll do while we're here is we'll start to bring the elbows away from the shoulders. So we're gonna pull them out and away from the torso. And take a couple of breaths here. And then on our next inhale, we'll go one step farther and we'll start to reach the elbows up, palms towards the sky. This is a pretty big stretch for the back of our shoulders. I'm assuming that you're probably feeling it back in here, maybe the upper part of the shoulder. So decide how far you want to go. How far do you want to go out and how far do you want to go up, and not pushing it too far for you today. Just getting a nice stretch in the back of our shoulders. Listening to the body. And we'll do one more inhale and reach towards the sky. And then on the exhale, we will untwist and then come back. All right. So that was side one. So we will do the second side as well in our eagle arms. So same thing, we're going to bring our arms out towards the sides, palm out. And then we'll bring them in towards the center. And whatever way you crossed previously, we're just going to do the opposite. So I'll have my right underneath, left on top this time. And we'll cross until our elbows have crossed. We'll bend at the elbow. And then either bring the back of the palms together or we'll twist till the palms touch. And then same thing. So we'll start by bringing the elbows away from the torso. Really opening up the back of our shoulder here. Taking a couple of breaths. And then on the next inhale, we'll start to bring the elbows up. Hands are reaching towards the sky, however far feels good for you. Taking a couple of breaths, trying to release the shoulders down, relax them away from the ears as best you can. On the next inhale, we'll reach up towards the sky, high, high, high. And then exhale and release the arms down to our sides. All right, guys, so that was 4 different ways to kind of stretch out the shoulders, both the front and the back, as well as give the sides of our neck a little bit of love, especially if you're feeling tight in that area, if you're carrying stress. These are really great ways to kind of give that area some love, loosen it up a little bit, and hopefully break up some of that tension that you're holding on to. So one thing I'll mention is that if you are interested in getting something like a yoga towel, if you want anything like yoga blocks, things like that for your home practice, I do have some links down in the description for some items that I have in my home practice that I really enjoy. So those will be down there if you are in the market for some yoga props. And if you liked this video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe for future videos. I will be coming out with more of these, focusing on different parts of the body, giving our body some love after working out, or if you're tight from sitting at a desk all day or stressed out or things like that. So I hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comment section below and I will be happy to answer them. And until next time, guys, take care of yourself and I will see you very soon. Bye.